All right, we are live. Sunny Days Media Football Show, Week 6, going live tonight on a wonderful Saturday night. Facino, a lot of things we
Yeah.
could a lot of things we could start with. I think we'll start with this middle of the week, or no, I think it was Monday morning. The Browns and the Bengals made a trade. Browns traded Joe Flacco away to the Bengals, who are going to be without Joe Burrow until at least mid to late December. I guess last ditch effort by the Bengals here. It seems like, from everything I've read, they're doing this to somehow steady the ship. And if no progress is made by the deadline, there's going to be names that fly off the board. Trey Hendrickson seems to be the first one, obviously so. But it brings us back to our conversation we had last week, going back and forth about Dylan Gabriel, Shador Sanders. At this point now, Shador's not third. If Dylan Gabriel does start to falter a little bit, there's no Joe Flacco to go back to. It's going to be Shador. That day will come sooner rather than later. I will say I don't think Dylan I don't like Dylan Gabriel. I don't like Shador either. I don't think Dylan looked that bad. Did you watch any of that London game?
I thought he looked pretty bad. I think
I had worse expectations.
you know what it is. Every quarterback should be able to make the throw within 5 yards, and he was making the within 5 yards throws, and then every pass past the sticks was way too high, not even giving his receivers a chance. And then I don't know, the media loved it. They thought he played fantastic. I'm sorry, that quarterback, that's a backup quarterback. What I saw. Which he is. I mean, he's a backup quarterback. It's Dylan Gabriel. We knew that. The only reason that people think he's good is because he was drafted, I guess, in the third round, which I don't think anybody thought he was a third-round pick until he got picked in the third round.
I think he had a good combine, and I want to say he played in the Senior Bowl, and I think he did all right in the Senior Bowl. I know Jackson Dart had a great Senior Bowl, and that's what really elevated him. But Brown's offense looked a little better. I'm rooting for them in that situation playing against the Vikings, but the Vikings ended up winning. Carson Wentz looked relatively competent. That wasn't a bad start by him, and I think there may be a bit of a question the week that McCarthy is going to be deemed healthy. I do wonder if they're going to go back to McCarthy or they're going to kind of play it safe, like keep playing Carson, tell the media that McCarthy's not quite healthy yet, and then when Carson has a slip up, McCarthy's back in? Or do you think it's just once McCarthy's ready, he's back?
I don't think Carson Wentz is good enough. So I think they'll just wind up playing McCarthy. I just don't think McCarthy's going to be good. And that's the problem. Dude, my cat just attacks me all day.
Yeah,
I'm gonna lock her. Let me lock her in the fucking back of this house quick. Go.
We do. I wrote down every game.
I just think that nobody
Oh,
should ever fucking buy a cat. Just don't have one. It's just they're the worst. They're so selfish.
I fuck with cats.
I can't. Anyway.
Houston and
all right,
Minnesota's on a bye week. That's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah. So
Yeah, go
is
on.
Carson Wentz good enough? No, I think Sam Darnold. If he was a Viking, there's no way J.G. McCarthy sees the field, and I think that Minnesota made a mistake. So,
Well, all I thought of with everything last year that happened in Minnesota was they got to make a decision. Like this idea that you could extend Sam Darnold there, but still keep McCarthy didn't make sense because you traded up to get McCarthy. And if you want to move on from him because you're so pleased with what you saw in Darnold, like that's fine. Like if you wanted to extend Darnold, I think that would have been fine. I wouldn't have agreed with it, but that's fine because Darnold did enough last year to show you that. Like clearly, right? He got a nice contract to go play in Seattle, and so far he's looked all right. Like he's looked pretty good.
he's the number one quarterback right now.
I just don't know. He's in
Well,
what?
PFF,
Where?
EPA.
I don't give a
every
shit. He
metric,
doesn't
total
look-
QBR.
You'll
every
take
metric.
him over Baker right now?
No.
No.
But that's all the metrics. Like that's the guy right now.
Okay.
It's crazy. I mean, well, he doesn't have to be the number one guy, but he is at least a top 5 quarterback this year. And the Vikings had him. I don't understand. I'll never understand going younger when you have a guy. Sam Darnold is 20. What was he? 28. 28 years old. You could have had him for 7 more years.
The Vikings
So I don't
really
know why
didn't
they
have
did
the
that.
money for that. That's the other thing you have to think of. They kicked a lot of contracts down the road. I don't think they had the cap space for that. They had enough trouble trying to keep their defensive pieces. But something bigger happened. Something bigger happened on Thursday night.
Yeah.
What a rough week for the city of Philadelphia. And I'd say I feel bad, but I fucking don't. Phillies lose in incredible fashion. Get knocked out by the Dodgers. The Eagles lose on Sunday to the Broncos. Turn around on a short week. Got to go up the turnpike to MetLife. And they lose to, up to this point, not a very good Giants team. The Giants look totally different. I mean, give the Giants some credit here. The offense put on a fucking clinic. And that defense, along with the Broncos, is starting to kind of expose Jalen Hurts a little bit. You know, I think the idea was they were still going to be able to lean onto Saquon, which, like, you're talking about advanced analytics and any number you want to look at. Look up any 2,000-yard rusher. The year after rushing for 2,000 yards, everyone's numbers dip. Now, that doesn't mean that their entire career dips, but the numbers dip a little. Like, that's naturally – and think about it, right? It's like a pitcher that threw for 230 innings, right, and went deep into the playoffs the year before. That guy's not going to be the number one pitcher next year, just for the fact of he had the longest season, right? I mean, this is a team that relied heavily on Saquon throughout the entire regular season and then made it all the way to the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl, relied on him heavy on that road to the Super Bowl. And I think what defenses are doing is they're stacking the box and they're forcing Jalen Hurts to play quarterback. And I think what people are starting to expose is that he's strong, he's big, he's tough. There's no doubt about any of those things. But when you force him to be not just a pocket passer, but an accurate passer, he struggles. And maybe he's playing hurt. I haven't heard anything there. But you can't just rely on the tush push.
No. They're not as good of a team. The Eagles 2 years ago lost a ton of games down the stretch and almost missed the playoffs. I think when everything's humming, they're unbeatable, but once there's like a few issues with them, they beat themselves. And last night, I mean, they got out physical. You can't. They had no answer for the quarterback or the running back, and they just ran through them at home. They fed off the crowd, and I think that the Giants are better than what people think. I think that they have a rookie quarterback, so they're going to have games where they just sputter and then games where they play well, and this is one of those games where they played well. Division opponent, so obviously they're going to bring their A game. And the Eagles have to figure out what the hell's going on. You know, I think the Eagles have a very difficult schedule. So the Eagles, by losing this game, they go play the Vikings, and they get to go play the Giants immediately again. And then they get Packers, Lions, Cowboys, Bears, Chargers, and then they can go into December. If they go into December like 500, they're a wild card team, man. And they got the Commanders twice in December and the Bills. So not an easy end to the year. They're 4-2. With the Lions are probably the best team in football right now. The Packers I don't think the Eagles are going to score many points against the Packers. So they got to figure out what they're going to do. But I mean, still the Eagles. They're probably going to squeak into the playoffs in a worst case scenario. And the Giants are an up and coming team. You know, that's the whole thing. You know, you draft a quarterback. Doesn't matter where you take him. Is he good? Jackson Dart, if you took him in the 20s, looks like he's a baller. You know, so it doesn't matter if you take him number 1 overall or in the 3rd round. That guy looks like he could play, and he looks like the quarterback for the Giants. He might even save the Daboll's job.
Oh, I think if the Giants can win 8-9 games, I think Daboll's safe. Unfortunately, now I guess Shane had a pretty good draft this last go around. Unfortunately, I think though if you're keeping Dable, you're probably keeping Shane, and I think that kind of sucks for the Giants because ultimately, I think Joe Shane's been a net negative for this team. I don't think Brian Dable's done the best job since that playoff win in Minnesota 3 years ago. But I also don't think that Joe Shane has really done a very good job of putting a group together for Dable to succeed with. And
yeah, they have such a hard schedule, the Giants.
It's a collective effort. I mean,
yeah.
You could be the best head coach in football. If you've got a shitty GM, you're only going to go so far. What was the other thing? A couple hours ago. Well, we'll get into the Lions later. Going to get into some of the Lions injuries. You have anything else on the Eagles?
No, I think they're.
What's your concern level with the Eagles?
I'm not really concerned. Teams lose. You know, it's a divisional game on a Thursday. They lost. The only concern I have is like A.J. Brown just being an idiot. I think honestly, I would trade A.J. Brown. I would just get him out of there. Like they already won the Super Bowl last year. He's just like an annoyance, I think, to this team at this point. Like,
well, Devontae Smith is starting to complain too.
Well, I think he's rubbing off on Smith.
Yeah.
You know, obviously Jalen Hurts missed him on like a 90-yard touchdown. Mm-hmm. He hits him, then I don't think Smith is very unhappy with that. But, you know, it is what it is. So, they're winning. It's hard to complain when you're winning. And when people are complaining when you're winning, they need to go.
I mean, we thought that last year with Brown. Ultimately, he never got traded. He's a weird guy because, to me, like he's one of the best wide receivers in football. Like he's not the best, but he's one of them. I think this is a guy that has like most of what you look for. He's got great hands. He's got speed. He's got tremendous size. But some of these like antics with the media, like the sideline shit last year with the book, like it to me it's weird. Like it was known. Yeah. It was known that he had a meeting with Saquon, Jalen Hurts, and Devontae Smith, right, about the direction of the offense and whatever. And then when he was asked about it, he's like, "No, there's no meeting." Like he's like joking about it. It's like it's weird. And I guess they're just playing games with the media. But to me, it's weird and it's a distraction. Like in my opinion, if there were, and I, never even played on a college level, right? But like, I feel like just being a teammate, I feel like if I had to have a meeting, we're going to switch this up here today, Jerry, that's super loud, whatever you got in the background. Dumb loud.
Today is going to be the day that they're going to throw it back to you. We got the London game, boys. Who's ready?
I was just going into A.J. Brown. What do I have?
You know what? I am so happy that the Jets play tomorrow morning just to get it out of the way.
Wait, hold on, Pacino. Let me switch you and Jerry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you now. Sorry about that.
All right. I'm ready, mate.
What's up with the bucket hat?
It's the Oasis bucket hat. We're playing the London game, dude. I got my Guinness. I got my Oasis bucket hat. I got my John Lennon glasses. We're going to England, baby. And we got 9:30 a.m. kickoff. We're gonna beat the shit out of the Denver Broncos, and that's it. We're ready to jet the fuck up, mate. That's it. Some tea and crumpets tomorrow morning. Little Guinness, little
Guinness
fish and chips. God save the Queen.
It's Irish Guinness.
Yeah, it's European. It's all the same. I know it's what the Gallaghers drink, so it's good enough for me. I got yelled at. I got a fat fucking head, and these are Lindsay sunglasses, so I can't wear them the whole show. I'm sorry. I don't want to stretch him out. Sorry for interrupting. Where were we?
We're actually
we
really
were talking about
transitioning
it.
out of the Eagles here.
Yeah. Do we want to start with the Jets? We might as well. They're playing at 9:30 tomorrow. They're in London. They're playing the Broncos. Broncos are coming off a high of knocking off the undefeated Eagles. That game, the over-under is at 43.5. Broncos are favorited by 6.5. Facino, I know you don't gamble anymore, but if you were still a gambling man, I think you would take Broncos. I think you would double that spread, right? You'd take them.
I would take Broncos money line.
You would take Broncos money line at minus 800.
Yeah, the Jets will lose by 6.
That is true. They are a fourth quarter team.
The Broncos.
The Jets are putting up legendary numbers in garbage time. It's actually
I can't imagine the Jets. I just can't imagine them winning this game. It's unbelievable, man. They have no coach. He's a disaster. They have no they've broken records for having the worst defense ever. There's never been a team since they created the turnover statistic in 1933 that's went 5 games to start the year without a turnover. There's never been a team to go 6 games in a row without forcing a turnover, and that could happen tomorrow if the Jets don't force a turnover against the Broncos. They would be the first team to ever have 6 games in any point in time where they had 6 games in a row without a turnover. So that's how bad they are. They hired a defensive-minded head coach. I'm sorry, Matt. He's a fucking buffoon. I know he's a lion, but you guys are better off without him. So we're stuck with him. It's just brutal. And we were watching college football this week to see who the quarterback is for this team, even though we have no fucking defense either. So we have no quarterback. We have no defense. We have a offensive line that's overrated, even though we've spent so many first-round picks on it. I mean, I don't know. What do you think, Jerry? You think we have a shot at making the playoffs within the next 5 years?
5 years, yeah. I like the 5-year roadmap. But I was going to say, it's bothersome because the Jets, the building blocks of the New York Jets has always been a good defense. And I don't got to tell you that. You've been here for years. There's always been one constant, and it's always been the defense is going to not necessarily win games, but keep us competitive. If we would have had an offense during some of those Zach Wilson years, we would have been a playoff team. That's a goddamn fact. And now seeing this, Sauce is up and down with everything, but everything else has just been – actually, no, that's not true. Willie Mack has been playing pretty decently. I think I'm not upset with Willie Mack's play at all. He gets a couple sacks. But other than that, though, it's wild and it's just un-Jet-like. I know – they're playing like the goddamn Jets always play like the goddamn Jets, but at least the goddamn Jets always have a sustainable defense. It's just not there, and it's weird. Like you said, he's a defensive coordinator, and I don't know, something's just not adding up. I think we need to sell like we're going out of business at the trade deadline, and just it pains me to say it. I want to ship Breece Hall. I think we get a solid return for Breece Hall. I think we can trade Quincy Williams. Get rid of him, and then there's a couple other people in the defense that I saw that were being thrown around in trade packages for the deadline, and I think that's just the best move right now, and then just rebuild based upon Aaron Glenn's wants and needs, I guess, and then just try to just start fresh. That's it. I don't know. This is where I'm standing with the state of the New York Jets, and I'm going into every week saying, man, it'd be really cool if we win. And I'm rooting for this team, and I'm going to continue to watch this team, and I'm just not going to oh, they lost. Okay. I'm not going to let it bother me. I don't know. It's upsetting, but there's no use in crying over spilt milk. They're a lost cause. We all know they're a lost cause, but shit, if they win, I'll be happier than a pig and shit. And I think it would be awesome. And if they don't, all right, let's get the sauce on the stove and let's continue our Sunday. That's it.
So you're still on board with Aaron Glenn? Oh
yeah. I think I know Facino has a lot of asinine takes. I think that's one of them. I'm not. He's not alone in that. I can't call it 2 out there because there's a lot of Jet fans who are very pro fire Aaron Glenn. I think that's ridiculous. I think you got to give him at least 2 years, And I'm with you, dude. We talked about it numerous times on the show. I see the blueprint. Rome wasn't built in a day. We talked about the Dan Campbell, Lions 4 years ago where you have to get the building blocks. You got to get the lumps out. You got to figure out who's real, who's not, who you're shipping, who's sticking around, what's going on, and then from there, because he inherited this is a garbage hand. The guy's facing a pocket aces with like a 7 and a 6 mismatching suits, for lack of a better term, and like there's nothing he can do about it. That's it.
There is something he can do about it.
What?
That's the problem. He could literally game plan better. He can hire quality control coaches.
You can game plan all you want, but if they're not going to perform on the field, that's a them problem. I never liked the whole, man, this team sucks, let's fire the coach. It's not the fucking coach's fault.
When you get gashed.
This guys can't go, and these guys can't stay on sides. These guys can't help but hit a quarterback who's clearly giving himself up. These guys don't know what an illegal shift is. These guys don't know the hard count in the huddle. Fucking do your job. You were paid millions and millions and millions of dollars to do this, that I can do this, and I played varsity football, and that's it. And I wasn't even
isn't
good.
there certain plays, though? For example, when a running back runs off tackle, hands should be on him. Guys should be able to at least touch him. When Javonte Williams runs for a 60-yard touchdown, untouched to end the half. When you're calling a screen pass, and the screen pass goes for 60 yards, and there's nobody around Jake Ferguson, that means that the Jets coach is getting pantsed by the offensive coach, because anytime a screen pass goes for more than 5 yards, that's a schematic. You're taking advantage of somebody's scheme. You're taking advantage of a down and distance, and you're outsmarting the guy across from you. If you're getting
Wilkes, though, that's not Aaron Glenn.
That's
all
Aaron Glenn.
Wilkes.
Well, Aaron Glenn is a defensive-minded
Aaron
head
Glenn
coach.
hired
Steve Wilkes has been fired by the last 5 places he's been to. He couldn't cut it in college football. He couldn't cut it in San Francisco. He can't cut it anywhere. He's horrible. And who hired him? How could, in your right mind, how could Aaron Glenn say, I'm going to give the defense to Steve Wilkes when you're a defensive-minded coach? It's such a disaster that I don't even think we should watch the team until he's fired.
Well, let's look at it like this.
Such a bad fucking hire.
Okay,
horrible hire.
I agree. Because I'm not a Steve Wilkes guy. And I heard a lot of whispers of what Steve Wilkes was in Arizona, along with Josh Rosen. Like, as a pair, those guys were both a disaster. But that was whispers. That was no one put their name to anything, right? It was all anonymous sources. So I kind of take it with a grain of sand, salt, whatever it is. I think the hiring of Steve Wilkes at the time, let's backtrack here to January. Aaron Glenn gets hired as the Jets head coach. What you want, and Fasino, I know you'll agree with this, what you want as a rookie head coach is you do want a handful of guys on your sideline that have been head coaches before. Maybe not good head coaches, but head coaches before.
I don't need that.
You do.
Why?
No, you absolutely do. Andy Reid did it. Dan Campbell. John Fox is on Dan Campbell's sideline. Was John Fox a good head coach? I don't think so. Not a very good head coach, but he's on that sideline. All right? You want to hire those guys because they've been fired before. They know what's going to get you fired. They know the dumb things you should and should not say to the media after a game, after a practice, after a trade, after someone gets arrested at 2 o'clock in the morning the night before for drunk driving. That's why you want those guys around. And you know what? I agree with you. I think that was the wrong hire. And for all intents and purposes, he may not get back on that Jets plane if the defense looks that bad tomorrow morning against the Broncos. All right, Detroit, the Lions Dan Campbell hired Anthony Lynn when he was first hired in Detroit. Anthony Lynn lasted like 7 weeks. He basically got demoted. Ben Johnson was promoted, and the rest is history. Like, it's not a crazy thing. Sometimes these things don't work out, and I think you're in a test period here. I don't think Steve Wilkes is going to be your DC forever. Now, Fasino, I do agree with you in that you want to come down on Aaron Glenn for the turnovers a little bit. Yeah. You want to come down on him for some of these penalties. Yeah, because that shows a lack of discipline from the head coach. And I agree with you there. But it's also week 6. This was not a talented roster. I think we severely inflated how many games this team could actually win this year.
8, but who's counting? Who put
I
money
didn't
on that?
inflate
Certainly
it.
not me. I don't know who the hell would put money on the Jets to win 8 games. Definitely not Jerry.
So
You'll see. We'll see what
fans,
happens.
let's see come December what this team looks like. Okay, let's just see it. Right now, it doesn't look good. And for the record, yeah, I think if the Jets go 0-17, I think Aaron Glenn's gone.
And that's what we need to do.
I don't think
That's what we
I
need.
don't
We
think
need to lose every game. So
I think you're gonna win. I think you're gonna win like 2 or 3 games. In
The
December.
Jets are
Listen,
never
going 0-17 is
going
almost
to
just as
win.
impressive as going 17-0.
They're
No,
never
it's
going to
not.
win without an
It's-
offensive-minded head coach. They're never going to win. It's
the
the
best
way-
head coaches in the history of this game are not just offensive-minded head coaches.
It doesn't matter.
No.
The Jets need
not
to
not
hire
disagree
an
more.
offensive genius.
And
they have
what,
to
but
go-
Facino, what is that going to do? That's not going to fix your line. That's not going to fix your quarterback.
It'll fix
That's
the
not
line.
You
gonna
mean
fix
an
your-
offensive
it doesn't
genius
fix
is Nathaniel
anything.
Hackett?
It'll
It
fix
won't
the
fix
line.
anything.
Absolutely
It
will
won't
fix the
fix
line.
anything. You know what you're doing? You're putting lipstick on a pig. Okay, that's what you are. You're the really fat chick at the bar that put a bunch of makeup on and pants that can't fucking breathe. That's what you are. You're putting lipstick on a pig, brother. That's what it is. This thing is diseased from the top, and you can't get rid of the top. And I get that, but Rome wasn't built in a day. Let's move
Dude,
on.
they let the media hire their head coach. Who does that? Peter Schrager and the 33rd team hired their head coach.
The Giants
Mike
did that.
Tannenbaum,
The Giants
who
did
got
that.
fired as the GM of the Jets, was hired back 12 years later to hire a head coach. It's so bad that we really should be boycotting the team. And of all that stuff, I could forgive them for being as bad as they are, but the biggest problem with the Jets is that they're playing in New Jersey. So until
What
that
if the
changes,
Jets just fuck around and win tomorrow? Wouldn't that be cool? Like, what if it just happens?
Oh, Facino's going to be livid if they
I would be upset about that.
He's
Yeah,
going to
but
be
what
furious.
if that's just the turning of the tide?
The Jets could win 13 games this year, and Facino would be furious because you guys didn't get a top 5
No,
pick,
I would be
and you couldn't get
happy.
your quarterback.
I would be happy. But when you see, when I'm watching a football game, because I'm a fan of two teams, and we might as well segue into the 1 o'clock games. The Jaguars don't have a good offensive line. They don't have a good offensive line. However, their play calling gets linemen moving laterally and east to west so that it's not as hard to block a guy that's moving north and south directly towards your quarterback. When you got guys moving, sideways, you can put them on skates. You don't have to be the strongest lineman. So the Jaguars, with inferior talent on the offensive line, went from being a horrible line last year to having a pretty damn good line this year. And we'll see if they can keep it up because they really don't have a lot of talent.
Well,
the Jets have wasted pick after pick after pick.
All right,
for
enough
all these-
about that. Enough
There's
about
so
that.
many,
Enough,
but I'm
enough.
saying we waste picks. Teams, and it's not just the Jets. A lot of teams waste picks on positions that they think are of value. When the Lions just showed you a few years ago, you go get the safety that knows how to play football. Go get a hard-hitting linebacker that knows how to punch the ball out. Go get your running back that's going to run through everybody's chest and going to just be able to run 30 miles an hour down the field. That's what wins you games, not the hypothetical left tackle that's a cornerstone. You don't need all the line positions to be these high pedigree top picks.
Let's segue into the 1 o'clocks. Seahawks are going. Let's start with that. Seahawks go to Jacksonville. Over under on that game is 47.5. The Seahawks are favorited by 1.5. The Seahawks had a great game last week. It was a shootout with Baker and the Bucks.
Yeah, it's
The
awesome.
Bucks ultimately win. High scoring game. I think it was 36-35 or something like that.
Yeah, 30-35.
I don't think I agree with this spread. I think the Jags should be favorited here. I think the Seahawks might be better on paper, but I think the Jags are. I think Vegas probably thinks the Jags are in for a letdown after coming off the high of beating the Chiefs. I don't agree with that. I think the Jags came ready to play. They're home for the second week in a row. I think the Seahawks are good. I think Sam Darnold's playing real well. Jackson Smith and Jigba is playing like an elite wide receiver. All the credit to him. I'm taking
That's the
Jacksonville
opening
here.
line.
I think that
The Jags are now the favorites.
Okay.
By
ESPN
one.
Bet has them at 1.5. Has them at plus 1.5.
Should be a good game.
Who's winning
I mean-
tomorrow?
I don't know
Let
who's
me-
gonna win tomorrow.
Listen, after watching that Monday night game, I don't want to say eternal respect for Trevor Lawrence and the Jags, but I'll be watching them. I'll be giving them the benefit of the doubt moving forward until they prove me otherwise.
Jags
the
are
way-
not favorited, by the way. They are plus 1.5. They are the underdogs.
The way Trevor
That's-
Lawrence looked down the barrel of a loaded gun against Patrick Mahomes in a game that tight and said, fuck it, we're going to ball. And drove down the field with, I don't remember exactly how much time was on the clock, but I believe it was at least within the 2-minute warning of the fourth quarter, and just won the game and just, I mean, I don't know, call it the birthday bump or what you want to call it, but my mouth was on the floor. And I was just wildly impressed. And I had the Chiefs in that game, and I couldn't even be mad at that. That was a Trevor Lawrence I expected to see out of Clemson 6 years ago, even probably longer than that. I don't know how long he's been in the league at this point, maybe even 8. And that's the Trevor Lawrence that I saw last night, Monday night, and I hope that's the Trevor Lawrence I see moving forward. They might finally have it figured out down there in Jacksonville.
I
Not
hope
saying
so,
for sure,
man.
chance.
That was one of the most fun I've had watching a game in a long time.
Yeah, rightfully so.
It was amazing. Did you stay up for that game, Matt?
No, I've been trying to ride the Peloton in the morning. So I'm waking up at like 3:45, which
Okay.
means I'm falling asleep at 7, which sucks.
Yeah.
But
That does
I with a kid, I just don't know what to do because I get home and I got to give my wife a break. And I have no motivation to get on the bike at like 8 at night. So I find it a little easier. I just wake up an hour earlier. But that's what that is. I'm going to take the Jags here. I would. I think if you're going to go out and take Jags money line, which is on FanDuel minus 106, so it's pretty much a pick'em game. Seahawks are minus 110. The Jags are plus 1.5. I think if I'm throwing in a bet on this game, I think
Wait. Let me guess. You're going to reverse spread it.
Yeah, I think I would reverse it. I mean, that's kind of the point that I'm at, right? If I don't agree with a spread, I'm not going to take the money line. I'm just going to reverse the spread because I'm going to get better money. Because
Yeah,
if
you're
they
gonna
lose, I
maximize
lost the
your
money line anyway, right? It doesn't matter. So if you could get the Jags at minus 2.5, you're getting plus money, right? You're getting plus 112. That's a little bit better in your parlay than minus 106 or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think it's crazy to take them at like minus 3.5, minus 6.5. But that's plus 230. I think the Jags are going to take care of business. I think the Seahawks are really good, but they're flying across the country. They're playing a 1:00 game, which their time would be 10 a.m. It's just not comfortable. I don't know what time. I don't know what day the Seahawks flew. I would hope that for their sake, I'd hope that they flew in Thursday or Friday to give themselves like a day or two to adjust. But I'm going to take the Jags here. Another interesting game. We actually have a really nice 1:00 window. Cardinals at Colts. Colts are minus 7.5. You know,
That's
first 3
disrespect.
weeks-
Unless there's an injury, that's disrespect to Arizona. That's a lot of
no,
disrespect.
because they're in Indy. They're in Indy, so I don't think that's a disrespect to Arizona.
Indy's a
And I-
hell of
and
a
I-
lot different than Arrowhead.
Right,
I
but
I feel
it's
like
still,
Indianapolis doesn't give you that much of a home field advantage for 7 points for a team that's kind of frisky. 7
Colts-
points is a lot of points.
like
Kyler Murray may not play though.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense then. Okay.
Yeah, but also, I mean, the Cardinals are kind of a disaster. What they did last Sunday, and like I know everyone's harping on like the dropping the ball, which is like that's the dumbest thing you could do in football. Like I know I've probably said that about like 10 different things that you could do, but that's up there. That's probably the dumbest thing. So fumble the ball before you go in the end zone. Like I'm not an old head. I got no problem with celebrating. You know, you move the sticks, shake your ass, do whatever you want, but hang on to the fucking ball till you see those refs' arms go up. Like, is it Facino, you were a fullback. Like, is it a hard thing to do? I mean, you could get caught up
Hold
in
on
the
to
moment.
football?
Fumbling at like the 1 yard line, you're an asshole for that. And
Yeah.
and you know what? Like
Yeah.
John Gannon, slapping him on the sidelines, like shame on Gannon for that, because you know the world we live in. You know there's a camera on you, and you know that how that's going to be perceived. So as a head coach, you need to have much more control of that.
Yeah.
However, if you're the player, you fucking deserve it. It's not about, disrespect. Oh, he's a grown-ass man. Well, you know what? A grown-ass man should have known not to fumble the ball before he crossed the fucking plane. So, no, I don't feel bad for that guy. He deserves to be publicly embarrassed. That should burn an image in his mind, especially if there had happened the week before and Gannon pulled it up on film and specifically told everyone carrying the ball that day, do not fucking drop the ball until you're in the end zone. So, you know what? Like, first and foremost, like the head coach is the one in charge of this team, in charge of this company, in charge of this franchise. So shame on you for losing your cool. You got to be better than that. As a head coach, there's going to be crazier shit than that than you're going to see your players do. And you can't freak out when there's a million cameras on you, especially when we live in this soft world that we do. Like, it's just a fact. But as a player, that's pathetic, man. You're paid to do. Jerry, what do we say? You are paid to do this job.
Yeah,
that is. If I was a Cardinals fan, I'm not even a Cardinals fan. I was livid watching that, and the minute I saw that, I said Titans are winning this game. Yep. Titans getting their first win.
I don't want to say shit happens, but I feel like that's a mistake that has happened at this point so many times now that you just if I'm a skills player, I'm not a defensive lineman by trade, but if I'm a skills player and I'm running for a touchdown, that's like the number one thing I want to keep saying, don't do this, don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're saying something's over in your head over and over and you don't want to fuck it up and then you kind of fuck it up, that's what I would be doing. I would be saying that a million times, do not drop this ball, do not drop this ball. And they do it every single time. Not every single time, but it happens more than it should. So
it's insane.
Is he young? How old is he? Because if that's
he's a backup. He's not even a starter.
Yeah, so he probably just got ahead of himself. That sucks because now I don't know if he got cut or not, but it's not going to be a bright future.
He should be cut.
Probably. Yeah.
I think I'd cut you for that. However, as a team, showing the mental midget of a mindset you have to allow the Titans to crawl back in. I mean, the Titans are terrible. There's nothing that they do well. Cam Ward has looked horrible, given he's had nothing to work with. And I think that head coach is also a disaster in Tennessee. But to let Tennessee come back and win that game, all of the mistakes. I mean, the fumble off Kyler on the snap, the shotgun snap, Kyler gets hit in the head. Like, what? This is just like another, you talk about undisciplined teams. And the Cardinals are a team that, we talk about as frisky. And, they always – they play up when they're playing if they were to line up tomorrow against the Eagles, they'd probably keep that game within 6 points. They always play up to whoever they're playing. But then they play these teams the Cardinals are a team the past 3-4 years that we say in September, oh, they might be a playoff team. They might be a playoff team. And then by Halloween, we're going, who the fuck are these guys? And it's every year with these guys. And it doesn't matter if Cliff Kingsbury's the head coach or this guy Gannon's the head coach. That sucks to watch. And I think that I don't, even if Kyler Murray was playing tomorrow, I think 7.5 is still an appropriate spread. I think the Colts, I don't know if they're for real, but right now the Colts have done everything to kind of show us that we should take them serious.
Yeah.
I mean, defensively, they've looked great. The offensive line is blocking for Jones is in no world an MVP, but he's inserted himself into the conversation just statistically. He's not turning the ball over. He's running. He's sliding when he has to. He's hitting his targets. Jones looks like a completely different quarterback here, and I know the fairy dust here is gonna wear off. The clock's gonna turn midnight at some point for this Colts team. But if you're a Colts fan, you've been given exciting football for the first time in I don't know how long. Probably since Andrew Luck, I guess. Right? Like they really haven't been successful since then. So
Yeah.
good for them. Good for that fan base. And they should win tomorrow, and I think they'll cover that spread. I would fuck around and take them at 9.5.
I wouldn't touch it. That's just me, though.
Chargers at Dolphins. The Chargers are starting to fall apart a little bit. They really need to bounce back and beat the Dolphins here. Dolphins are definitely, I mean, they're coming off that win against the Jets last week, but is that last week that they played the Jets or no? 2 weeks ago they played the Jets.
The Jets played on Sunday last week.
Chargers should win this game. I know they've got a long list of injuries. I think Joe Alt is out.
Yep.
He's been hurt.
Yeah. He's
They're
been hurt
decimated.
there.
Or banged up, I guess. I don't know what the correct term to use is.
And I'm not.
Omarion Hampton's hurt.
He's out for, 5-6 weeks? Yeah.
At least he's on the IR, so it's at least 4. I don't know the nature of his injuries.
Maybe they can trade for Brees Hall.
Yeah. We can take back Keenan Allen. Oh, no, not Keenan Allen. Mike
I
Williams?
think Keenan Allen is there,
Mike Williams.
Keenan Allen is on the Chargers, yeah.
and I think he just became the fastest guy to 1,000 receptions. I think he did that last week. So
Sounds like
congratulations.
a Hall of Fame career.
He might be a Hall of Famer.
The
He
Army.
might be. Just for
Yeah,
longevity.
I'm looking now and they're still on top of the West, but this is gonna be they're tied with the Broncos, but the Chargers are in front of them because they have
Chargers beat the Chiefs, I think, right?
the Chargers beat the Chiefs week 1, yeah, but they're tied with the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
Not exactly sure how that does. Broncos have more points for and less points against, but the Chargers are still on top of the division. Not sure how that works. But this is going to be a must-win game for the Chargers. I don't know. You're going to see probably a coach.
They have to. They're
Yeah.
coming off back-to-back losses to the Giants and the Commanders. They really need to. They got to get back on track. Dolphins are bad. I don't know. I don't know when Mike McDaniel's getting fired. I don't think he's gonna have a full season there.
I don't think he wants to have a full season.
No.
I think he wants to lose his job. I think the thing is played. It's played out. It's done what it has to do. He had some success there. I don't necessarily want to call him a one-trick pony, but I guess it's a fair label to give him, because what do you do when you're, calling the shots there and you want to be considered a good head coach and whatnot? You change up your scheme after people starting to figure you out, which he didn't do. He's like, oh, we're fast. We'll stay fast. They're not fast anymore. And they figured out how the Dolphins' offense works. Tua is kind of as inconsistent as inconsistent.
He's not good.
No,
He's just not a good quarterback.
There's flashes there where you're just like, huh. But also there's flashes where you're just, he's not a good quarterback.
Tua is the last quarterback, I think, and I'm not kidding. I guess maybe I'll take him over Spencer Rattler, but there's not a lot of quarterbacks. I don't know that I'd rather have. I think Tua might be one of the worst quarterbacks in football. I think I'm looking at the Panthers here. I think I'd rather have Bryce Young than Tua. I think we've seen it with Tua. I think these injuries have caught up with him.
Mm-hmm.
God bless him for still going out there, but you're
starting to see it too in his press conferences, and it makes me feel bad. This guy is just a walking case of CTE. That quote about how the carbs help him with the concussions and the water, and if he doesn't drink water, his brain, I don't even know what he was trying to say, but his brain is a bowl of French onion soup. The guy is fucked. But I don't know. I think McDaniel's going to find himself as a coordinator somewhere. I don't think he's going to be a head coach.
Well, I don't know what that contract looks like for McDaniel. So if he takes a coordinator gig somewhere and he puts a headset on, the Dolphins don't have to pay him anymore.
Oh, really?
So I don't know how many years he's got left. on the Dolphins contract. So like everyone, without checking anything is, someone's going to get a great offensive coordinator in the middle of the year. Like probably not, because the minute he takes that job, and it's probably not going to be more than what he's making in Miami. So I think if I were a betting man, I'm gonna unless his contract's up after this year, which I once again don't think it is. I'm gonna assume he probably takes
2028 it goes to.
Yeah, so he probably takes next year off or takes like an analyst position somewhere. He's probably gonna do what Cliff Kingsbury did: take an analyst position for a year or two, and then put on a headset with that 1 year left on the deal. I would assume, but that game is kind of irrelevant. Cowboys at Panthers.
Irrelevant.
You know what? Maybe not here because Panthers are looking a little frisky here. But if the Cowboys win, Cowboys are 2-2-1. They're not in the worst position in the NFL here, and I think, and we'll say this all. We'll see what the Bengals look like tomorrow against the Packers, but I think a year or two from now. And this all depends on how well the Cowboys draft, because if they do nonsense with those 2 first-round picks, then they should have just signed Micah. But the way things are looking, like the last time we saw, the Packers play was against the Cowboys, right? Because the Packers had a bye last week. They tied them. And I know it was in Dallas, but Dallas is an inferior team to Green. Micah was looked at as the missing piece to this Packers defense. Right now, if you're Dallas, you're looking pretty good after that trade. You avoided paying someone a ridiculous salary. You acquired one of the better defensive tackles in football, Kenny Clark, and you got 2 first-round picks to go with it.
Yeah, not to mention
if the Cowboys are not stupid, and I don't like Dak, but Dak is playing incredible football right now.
Yeah.
For what he's got to deal with. Yeah, he hasn't had CeeDee Lamb for weeks. He's got no defense behind him, and he's just slinging it. Give him all the credit. Once again, I don't like the guy, but can't deny what he's doing right now. I think the Cowboys look brilliant at the moment for this trade. And that's not to say that the Packers are bad or anything like that, but the Packers aren't running away with the NFC North, right? I mean, you lost to the Browns, which was horrific. And then you tied to the Cowboys the next week. And now they're coming in and they're playing tomorrow at 425. They should beat the shit out of the Bengals. Bengals just got Joe Flacco. Is it crazy to think that maybe the Bengals win tomorrow?
Is Joe Flacco going to play?
Yes.
He's playing. Oh, he's
really?
starting.
They made that clear earlier in the week.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when you traded for him and you're reeling here, you have to.
Their exact words were, he's a fast learner, so we expect Joe to start on Sunday. That's a crazy quote. This guy's just collecting the AFC North teams.
All the pressure in the world right now is on the Green Bay Packers and Matt LaFleur. Specifically Matt LaFleur, right? Because I think for a long time they've had a good defense, but they haven't had a great defense. And in their mind, and I think in everyone's mind, Micah was the guy. And after week 1, everyone crowned them Super Bowl champions. Oh, they just knocked off the Lions. Packers are back. And damn, they look good that day. Since then, they've looked good at times, but not that good. Not that good. And you just mortgaged your future. You better at least win the NFC North this year. You better.
Lions are starting to wake up, man. So I don't know. That's going to be tough for them.
That's kind of my point. There's a lot of football to play, but everybody was crowning them champions after week 1, and at this point, you're 2-2-1 coming out of the bye, which is once again not the worst thing to be. Or you're 2-1-1 coming out of your bye, right? They're 2-1-1. Yeah, they played 4 games going to week 6 to end their bye. They should beat the Bengals tomorrow, but that would be a wild scene. I mean, what's the money line here on the Bengals? plus 800. I might just sprinkle.
Why not?
Real
quick though, I want to go back to the Cowboys for a second too.
Yeah.
Looking at the board of the NFC East, the Eagles are starting to landslide. We're seeing a Eagles team that we saw reminiscent of the year they lost, the year after they lost to the Chiefs, where they were like, "Oh, they're going to be great," and then the cracks started to form in the foundation bit by bit. Starting to see that now with the Eagles. The Commanders, excuse me, nobody knows what the Commanders are. No, not even the Commanders. I don't think the Commanders know what the Commanders are. The Giants, you got the frisky little kids with CTE, and they're doing their thing, the exciting whites. And then you got the Cowboys. This is an extremely competitive yet mediocre division. You know? Like, it's not like, yeah, sure, the Eagles are on top of the board now with 4 wins, but, like, who knows what's going to happen? And like you said before, the Cowboys are keeping games interesting. They've been in just about every single game they played so far this year. And I wouldn't be surprised that there's not saying it's gonna happen, but there's a shot that they can walk out and win that division. If the Eagles shit down their leg at the right time and the Cowboys turn it on at the right time, that's a recipe for success in Dallas.
I don't think the Cowboys are going to win enough to win that division. But let's see what this Eagles skid looks like. I mean, they went from potentially being 6-0 to 4-2 in a matter of 4 days.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of it is just compounded in one small unit of time. I mean, that's the problem with these Thursday night games is you lose on Sunday and then you're playing on Thursday and guys are hurt and guys are banged up. And I would be more concerned right now, Eagles-wise, with the issues off the field. And this is what we were talking about before you jumped on the stream. The meetings that are happening amongst some of these offensive players. The defense is starting. I mean, before we even talk about the offense and the inability of Jalen Hurts to look like a competent throwing quarterback, because we all know he can run the tush push, but can he run? Can he throw the ball down the field? Right, like that's what you're paid to do as a quarterback. You're not paid to do the tush push. We can get a tight end or a fullback to do that, which, like, God bless them, they've done it. It's looked great. Sure, I don't think it's really going to work anymore.
I'm also out on the tush push after that 4 in a row they pulled.
No. It's a fair play. It's a fair play. I mean,
it's totally fair. It's just
I honestly think it's cheating. The fucking offensive line is never. The helmet is never on the next guy's
Then it's
head.
on the officials to call them.
They should call and offsides on the offense every single time, and they never do. So they should ban it.
I think the more of the concern, like, we know AJ Brown's a head case, and he's not a good influence on Devontae Smith. You know, we kind of got into that before, but I think the bigger concern for Philadelphia is that secondary, that defense as a whole. I mean, you went up the turnpike and you got your shit pushed in by a bad Giants team. Like, God bless the Giants. They won. Right now, like, until the Giants fans, until you're back to 500, don't call yourselves good yet. You're not good yet. You might be, but today you're not. But you let this Giants team fucking push you around. That defense looks lost. The secondary looks lost. That D-line is not creating the pressure they were creating a year ago. Those linebackers, I mean, they just re-signed Bond. Like, there's a lot of money in that linebacking group. It's not playing up to par. You let Scadaboo run all over you. You let Jackson Dart run all over you. You let Jackson Dart pass all over you. And just 5 days prior, you let Bo Nix and the Broncos do all of those things. And I know that game was a lot more back and forth, and the Broncos won in the end. But the point is I think the concern is with this Philly defense. And I think Philly is this chaotic group that kept winning. So we looked at them and said, well, it's dysfunctional, but they win, right? It's like if you're a teacher, you have a student who acts out in class, doesn't pay attention, but he's getting straight A's. So you could be mad at him for acting out, but he's getting the grades, right? Like he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. Maybe he's distracting others, which was me, except for the straight A's. I was like straight C's. But point is, now the concern is starting to creep in. Now the media is starting to pry. And I guess they kind of always do in a city like Philadelphia. It's similar to New York, but it's only going to get louder and louder in that locker room. And that dysfunction is only going to compound that. If you don't have a mentally strong group, 2 losses can turn into 4 losses like that. And me and Facino were breaking down the Eagles' schedule ahead, and it's really not an easy road here. Here we go. Giants Eagles. After this week, the Eagles have the Vikings in Minnesota next week, which I think they should win. Then they play the Giants at home. You should beat the Giants, but you didn't look very good against them. Now, given that was a Thursday night game, like it would not shock me if they come out, they beat the Vikings and they beat the Giants, and then they're 6-2. Fine. They come out of their bye week. They've got Packers, Lions, Cowboys, Bears, Chargers, Raiders, Commanders, Bills, Commanders again.
Yeah.
You better hope to God you go into the bye week 6-2, because if you lose a third game here, if you're the Eagles, you're looking once again at that 1 or 2 seed. That's what you're aiming for.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're a team that's been to 2 Super Bowls in 4 years at this point. Right? You've been there, you've done that. You don't need to be playing in the wild card round. You don't want to be playing in the wild card round. You've got a running back with a lot of miles on those tires. You don't really want him playing in the wild card round. You want to give him a week on his ass on the couch, right? Jalen Hurts going to get banged up. He's going to get hit a lot. You want him a week of rest. That murderer's row of Packers, Lions, Cowboys, Bears, Chargers, Commanders twice, Bills in between that. You could be looking going from the 1 seed to the 4 to a wild card like that. That stretch.
The 1 seed's basically out of the picture for the Eagles.
I
think the Lions are on a fucking tear, and I think they're going to continue.
They have the Chiefs tomorrow. We'll get into that.
Yeah, I want to talk about that game.
Let's get into it. I mean, the Chiefs are overrated.
I want to say so, but as long as Mahomes is, and I know Mahomes has been overrated. I know Mahomes has not lived up to his name. But
he was fucking amazing on Monday.
Hang on. Mahomes is not overrated. He's having a bad year. That's it.
He's had a bad 2 years now. He wasn't great last year. Let's be honest. It was 1-score games, and it caught up to them in the Super Bowl, which is still the fucking Super Bowl.
You don't have Rashee Rice right now, so that's once Rashee Rice comes back, everything's going to change.
Oh shit.
But yeah, you got him at a good time. Go beat him. Go fucking make the Chiefs 2-4. How beautiful would that be?
Oh, that'd be great for football. That would be phenomenal. Pats at Saints. We'll get into that quick. Pats are going to New Orleans. They're favorited by 3.5. I think that's rightfully so. The Saints are not very good. They knocked off the Giants last week. That's not saying much. The Pats just beat the Bills. They beat them in very exciting fashion in Buffalo. That is, if the Pats come out and they beat the Saints here, that is a kind of the Bills game you could look back and say that was kind of a defining moment. If they capitalize on it. If they continue to win and look competent and keep the ball on their side and keep turning it over on defense, the Pats have a very easy schedule here, just like the Bills. The Pats have an opportunity to win. I thought at the beginning of the year they were a 9-10 win team. After them beating the Bills, they very well could be a 12-win team. Now I don't think the Pats will win enough to win the division. I think it's still the Bills division. I think they're still too good. I think last week was a hiccup, and I think the Bills will win the next meetup against the Patriots.
Yeah.
But I think the Pats have an opportunity here to win themselves 12 games and be the highest wildcard team.
The Pats, yeah. Pats are going to win a lot of games, man. It's unbelievable.
It's fucking infuriating. How are they good again?
Well, because what they did was they got a quarterback and they hired a real coach, and they they have a better game plan, and that's what this entire league.
Yeah,
all
dude.
that
But
matters.
so
is your
you're
game
saying
plan.
that, but all right. Let me ask you this then. Vrabel is a defense guy, right? Just like Aaron Glenn was.
Mhm.
But Pat's defense sucks. What's the
But
difference?
Vrabel had head coaching experience.
The
Not
game
the same thing.
planning.
Okay.
It's just the same 10 coaches go to the playoffs every year. They cycle players. 20%, 30% of your roster is overhauled every year. Maybe they have a quarterback, maybe they don't. Tomlin has a different quarterback every year he goes to the playoffs. Belichick had
He
Brady,
sticks it
but he
up, though.
always won.
He
He stinks it up in the playoffs.
Yeah, but
like,
the Jets can't even win a game.
fair.
Tomlin's winning 10 games a year, going to the playoffs, and he loses. Why is he losing? Because he probably doesn't have the quarterback, and he's missing a few pieces. And it is what it is. But those coaches, Mike Vrabel, won the AFC South like 70% of the time when he was with the Titans.
And he never should have been fired. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Never should have been fired. I never
No,
understood.
he didn't. Yeah,
That to me was like.
they parted ways.
And-
I was going to
if
say it was
you-
more of a parting ways. I think they butted heads. I think he butted heads.
I think it was an issue with the general manager and ownership. Like I think
Yeah.
there was a
shipping
power
out
struggle.
AJ Brown, shipping out Derrick Henry, shit like that, like just bad decisions. I think he disagreed with the Malik Willis draft pick too when they switched for him from Ryan Tannehill. I'm talking out of my ass on that one, but I feel like that was probably the case. And then I think he got out of there, which so be it. He wanted this job the entire time, though. You knew even like. When the Jets were looking for a head coach and Vrabel was on the market looking to come back, I knew exactly where he was going. We all knew where he was going. This was going to be it. In fact, I was surprised they hired Gerard Mayo the year before they hired Vrabel. I don't know why they did that for 1 year. Should have been him from the get-go.
Yeah.
I think the Pats should win that game. Rams, Ravens. Rams are going into Baltimore. They're 6.5-point favorites. The Ravens without Lamar, they look like a mess. I mean, that defense looked bad while Lamar was there. Yeah.
So I wanted to say this before, but I came in hot and heavy when we went right into the Jets game. You know why I'm okay with what it is to stay the New York Jets? It's because we know what we are. And, we suck, and it is what it is. But then you look at a team like the Philadelphia Ravens, the Baltimore Ravens, where they have expectations, and they're supposed to be good, and they're supposed to be at a certain standard, and they're not. And I feel like that sucks that much more. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if we should be more depressed or if they should be more depressed based on this year, but it must be horrible to have expectations and goals and realistic ones at that too, and then just be 1-4 in week 6.
Like the Jets last year when we thought we were going to the fucking championship
No,
game.
but we think we're going to the championship game every year, dude. I'm saying for real. Having a reigning MVP on your team, having
That's what we
one of the
had.
leading rushers, we had a former MVP, not a reigning MVP. There's a difference.
Yeah.
I think the Rams win that game tomorrow, and I think they're going to cover the spread. I think the Ravens are bad. I think this is going to end up. Was that Arya?
No, the cat wants to get out of the fucking. You see that? You hear that?
I heard that. I heard a bang.
She's pissed. But you know what? That's what you get for attacking me to start the show. You missed it, Jerry. This cat, she just attacks you.
You got Rams
Where are
winning
you?
tomorrow?
Where are you going to watch the game tomorrow, Jerry? That's the question.
The Jet game
Yeah, the big game.
on my couch. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it on
Terry's
my
a
couch.
homeowner now. He doesn't have money to go out to the bar. All three of us don't have money to go out to a bar. That's it.
I'll never
It's
go
on
to
the
bar
couch
again.
or it's at a friend's house.
Well, I'm the only one who doesn't have. I have a dog. We all have dogs, but I don't have a kid. You guys have kids, so I'm free as a bird. But that's neither here nor there.
No, you're not. You're basically married, brother.
Basically, man.
That's
The key word is basically.
You signed up for a world of pain, brother.
No, but I'll be watching this game on my couch. But no, I do want to talk about this Rams game because somebody told me the Rams are a lock and McVay is 17-0 when the spread is at 4. The spread is at 7.5 and not 4, so I don't know where he got that information from. But
It may have opened at 4.
Did it open at 4?
I don't know. I'm saying it may have opened at 4.
Is it Cooper Rush? It's Cooper Rush. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's probably
So
what
hammer the
happened. It
Rams.
opened at 4.
Hammer the Rams at 13.5.
Yeah, the text was McVay 16-0 road games at -4, but they're obviously 7.5. So I
Who
don't
are
know.
you getting your betting?
I have no, my friend that's in Las Vegas right now, so we can all imagine how that's going. Shout out Aloy.
The line opened at 7.5, went up to 8.5. Oh my god, dude, that cat!
Dude, I'm telling you, this cat's the worst.
Do you have a mountain lion?
You
have a house cat?
I'm gonna show you this cat.
Jerry, Browns at Steelers tomorrow.
I like the Steelers, dude. I think the Steelers are better than people are giving them credit for, and I think they're going to win the North because I want to say, oh Jesus,
What are you gonna say?
Yo, sick cat, bro.
Say something. Now you're speechless.
it's a good looking pussy.
That's a good looking pussy. I'll tell you what, that Facino, he grabs life by the pussy.
He's got nothing to say to the audience.
No, but if you look, I'm pulling up the standings right now. But if you look at the AFC North, you got, where are we? Oh, they're in first already, so I don't even have to stand on the soapbox for this one. The Ravens are obviously in disarray. The Cleveland Browns are a chicken with their head cut off, and the Bengals, it hurts.
It's a shame because the Browns have the best defense in football. I know they just traded away Newsom. I think Newsom went to the Jaguars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great
that was
trade.
big. That was a great trade.
Unbelievable.
The Steelers, I agree with you, Jerry. I think the Steelers will win this division. I don't think it's going to be – it's just going to be by default. I think
Yeah.
they're going to win a bunch of games, but –
it doesn't suck, but it's kind of like I want to see that. I want to see battles in that division. I feel like it's going to be kind of
you're not going to see
unless the Ravens.
Only Joe Flacco. No, only Joe Flacco can save it at this point.
That'd be something,
Unless
that's not out of the possibility.
What I don't want to see the Ravens do, I don't want to see them do what, and I know it's two completely different injuries, two completely different quarterbacks, but this reminds me back to RG3 and the Redskins. Do not rush Lamar back because you're shit in the bed this year. Like if it's a bad year, it's a bad year. Let it be. Let it die. Lamar's young. You could do this again next year. But like,
Lamar's not that young, but I think Harbaugh has the wherewithal to not do that.
I would hope, but I would hope it doesn't come from like I don't know. I mean, the Ravens are a sound organization, but like people get desperate, teams get desperate, franchises get desperate. I pray to God that they don't rush this guy. Like if he's ready to come back in a week or two, then great, God bless him. And I think their bye week is coming up. But do not rush. Like Lamar had a hamstring. If this hamstring issue was serious enough for you to say 3 to 6 weeks, then like he better be 110% ready to come back.
Mm-hmm.
You're not at 2 wins. You're not at 3 wins. You're at 1 win. You haven't looked good from the start of the season. And I think, unfortunately, I don't think Lamar alone is going to be able to save the season. Like, they do not have a good enough defense right now. And guys have come back. I know Kyle Van Noy came back. But, I mean, unless this defense shows any signs of life, I would not be rushing Lamar back on the field. I mean, we all know in this podcast how hard it is to find a legitimate quarterback. The Ravens have a 2-time MVP. Could have been 3-time MVP. The guy is a stud. Don't rush this guy back. Do right by him. And honestly, if it comes to a point where you're 1-7, 1-8, and then he's ready to come back, don't bring him back. Don't do that. Even if he wants to come back, you shut him down. You shut him down. You trade anybody that's on a 1-year deal, and you regroup for next year. Because the Ravens should be a powerhouse. We all expected them to be a powerhouse. You still can be a powerhouse next year, but unless you find a way to win tomorrow, like, you got to shut them down.
What they really need is Derrick Henry to wake up. I guess we have seen many fall from grace just as hard as this one, but I am, for one, like, based after the year he had last year, I can't believe he's playing the way he's playing this year. Between the fumbles and just And mainly this is the
sometimes you just fumble.
He's not getting the carries either.
That's what I was going to say.
But they're playing from behind. I mean, that's why he's not getting the carries. He's not getting the carries because their defense is letting everyone walk down the field.
Yep.
And so the Ravens feel like, well, we can't run the ball. We have to, naturally, we're going to put the ball in
They're
your best
letting up
player's
35
hands.
points a game. I don't know any team that's let 35 points per game for a season. That would be a record.
Again, very uncharacteristic for the Baltimore Ravens, who usually have the backbone of their team is typically the defense. It's just not there. Again, it's shocking.
We'll move on here. In the 4 o'clock window, you got Titans at Raiders, Niners at Bucks, Bengals at Packers. Packers game should be a blowout unless Joe Flacco can turn it on here with Higgins and Chase. So I will be watching. I will be watching that. I think I will have TV One on that. Niners at Bucks is going to be very
That's
interesting.
going to be an awesome game.
Yeah. Mac Jones has played a lot better than I think any of us could have predicted.
Brock Purdy, he's playing so well, Brock Purdy might be out of the job.
Brock Purdy was on the expiring deal.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked.
Oh, Purdy just signed that crazy extension.
I wouldn't be shocked, though, because Mac Jones is Shanahan's guy, so I wouldn't be shocked if Shanahan says, fuck it, I'm staying with him.
Casino, are you looking up Purdy's contract?
Yeah, he signed like a $50 million deal this offseason, 4 years.
That's what I thought I heard, but I never saw it. Jerry, carry us here.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna pull up. So I like you said, I'm personally shocked that I didn't think I wrote off
5 year 265.
We saw what Mac Jones did. How many years?
5 years 265. So he's the guy. 5 years 265.
But you could probably offload that to a team that's going to be looking.
I
was just about to say I wouldn't be surprised if the fucking Jets take that contract. For a guy who's serviceable.
There would be so much dead cap. Like, to extend a guy and then trade him away, you would have a retard. I mean, they owe him 181 in guarantees.
Here's the thing, though, too, is that Pearsall's not playing. So, again, we know the Niners are plagued by injuries across the board, and now losing Ricky Pearsall, that's going to hurt even more. The numbers are just dwindling and dwindling. They're probably going to lean on McCaffrey that much harder. But, I don't know. We'll see. They're not a great team, but they're certainly a frisky team. Actually, no, they are a great team. They're fucking 4-1. So what am I saying? But they're, I wouldn't expect them to make too much noise, but they can definitely shake things up, I think. And they're doing great I hate to say my usual saying, but they're making chicken salad out of chicken shit with a fucking banged up roster. So they're doing okay.
Yeah, they've no Kittle for a while. He's on.
No, I think Kittle should be back in a couple weeks. I think.
Kittle's
he's on IR. So
I think one more week.
He went on IR like week 1 though. It's week 5, so he's eligible to come. I don't know when they're going to start the countdown, but it can be.
I think the Bucks still win this game. I think Baker's playing out of his mind. The only thing that's concerning here is that Bucks defense. But you would assume Todd Bowles is going to get that together. You would hope he gets that together. And then, like I said, Bengals Packers. There's not much to say there. The Packers should win this game. They're home.
Since Monday, a little off topic, but very interesting. The Jaguars have cleared, or they've added void years to their kicker, to De'Ami Brown, and to Walker Little. So they've cleared like $14 million in cap space. And the rumor is that they're looking for a massive D tackle. So we'll see. We'll have to monitor that. Maybe a Quinn Williams.
Do you think they will be trading? No, they wouldn't be trading for Trey Hendrickson because they've got Josh Allen and who's the other guy? Trayvon Walker.
Yeah, I mean they could trade for Hendrickson. I think the Bengals are going to give it another 2 weeks though.
Yeah, no, I think if the Bengals could go on a run, if they could win like 2 more games before the deadline, 3. If they win 3 more games before the deadline, I mean the deadline's November 4th. So we've got 3 more weeks. Right? We've got 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So we've got 4 more games and then we're at the deadline. If the Bengals go 2-2, 3-1, they're not trading anybody. They're going to run it out. I think if they win less than 2 games, which is likely, then I think you're going to see Trey Hendrickson probably be the first guy off the board. One of the first guys off the board being moved. It makes no sense to hang on to him. They can't franchise him. That was a part of the 1-year extension they signed with him. They can't give him a franchise. It's got to be a legitimate extension. So he makes all the sense in the world for anybody.
Jeffrey Simmons is going somewhere, but he's not going into division. I don't think they'd ever trade him to the Jaguars. But Jeffrey Simmons is definitely a guy to watch.
Can we move on to Sunday Night Football?
Yeah, I got a segue for you real quick.
Yeah.
All right. So, as the audience knows, I was in a car accident, if you want to call that. I got smoked by a Jeep and escaped with no broken bones, nothing, scratches, bruises, whatever, and used up all my luck with that. Haven't won a bet since that occurred. I now have $15 left in my account. That's it. And I am going to bet 1 game tomorrow.
Well, it's connected to your bank account. Like you could.
No, I know that, but I haven't been into. I've been playing with house money since July, and I've been I had made like $300, which when you bet $5 tickets, fucking considerable amount of money. So I'm happy about that. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. But where I'm going with this is I want to play. I want to just empty the account on 1 game and 1 game only. And looking at the board tomorrow, I think my pick of the week is going to be the Detroit Lions money line. Now, I need you to say, Jerry, that's a great bet, and I think you got this in the bag, or Jerry, you probably should not do that, and this is why.
I don't feel great about tomorrow. Taylor Decker's out. Giovanni Manu, the guy that played last week for Taylor Decker, he is now also out. Dan Skipper has been elevated from the practice squad to left tackle. I think they're better off starting Dan Skipper than starting Giovanni Manu. Giovanni Manu, I think he's ultimately not going to work out. He was a project they took in like the 5th round out of Canada. I think he's undersized. I don't think this guy's going to ever work out. But that being said, Dan Skipper's a vet. He's bounced around the league. He's been on the Lions now for 3 years. He's had to step in and play left tackle for us multiple times in the past. He is serviceable. The issue is we've got 4 cornerbacks out right now. Amik Robertson has had to move from the nickel to CB1, which he actually is pretty good playing outside. But ultimately, the Lions are out of their comfort zone here. I think they have to dial up the pressure on Mahomes as much as they can, and they have to score. The only thing I could feel confident about tomorrow, maybe, is the over. Do I think the Lions can win tomorrow? I think they do. But I would not take whatever you have left in FanDuel and put it on them.
I would actually, if you got the money in FanDuel, I would start your morning off taking the Broncos, and then, you'll automatically win. But then you could use that money for something else during the
all 1550 of it.
Take the Broncos -7.5, and
dude, the Jets are winning that game tomorrow. I don't care what you say. I am waking up, pouring a Guinness, and saying, "God save the Queen, Jet the fuck up, let's go." And I'm gonna be dialed in, start to finish. I might take the under, we'll see, but
I think it would be tough logistically because you're in Connecticut, but it would be really nice if we could get you and Casino on a live stream watching a Jet game together. That would be gold.
We have this thing called StreamYard, where we can kind of.
We do, but
we can kind of.
We actually could do it.
I could do it tomorrow.
Fuck it, I'll do a live watch tomorrow morning. I got nothing going on.
You want me to turn this on? You want to do a live?
I might be down for that. Stay tuned for that. That might be an awesome idea.
I will
Let's do
talk
it.
to the wife about that idea. I'll
She's
talk to the
down.
wife. Right now, the baby's running a fever.
I can't imagine Julie saying no to anything.
She says no all the time.
Really?
All the time, brother.
Damn. Seems too nice to say no.
I'm trying to think here. I want to see something because I might just do a Matt Pasquarella here and just fucking not now. I need to
Eat a
think
bunch
about
of chicken wings and shit your pants by 10
No,
p.m.
I do that every Sunday. That's
At
what I
9
do.
o'clock tomorrow morning, let me know. I'll have my laptop charged. We just gotta all. I don't know where you watch the game. Do you watch it on Hulu? What are you watching on?
NFL Network.
I'm gonna have to
Oh,
wave
it's-
a fake. I'm gonna wave a fake flag here, but we'll figure it out. I'm not gonna say where or how, but we'll figure it out.
All right, I just want to make sure that I pause.
Sure,
it
you
and
don't have
start it so
streaming
we have it
and
on
you
the
don't
same.
have cable,
I don't have NFL Network.
I just
I don't
want to
have
make sure we
cable.
have it on the same thing.
but you don't have streaming. You know, like Hulu.
Not for no, I don't.
So how do you watch anything?
I have I use my parents. What's it called? Like
So then
login.
use your parents' cable login to get
Can't do
NFL.
that. You can't. I don't believe you can do that for NFL. I could try. But I don't
You
believe
should be able to do it.
Should
for
be able
NFL
to
Network.
in the NFL.
Try to do it tonight. If not, I'll just give you my NFL.com account because I
Okay.
have NFL Plus.
Okay.
Do we have anything else on Lions Chiefs here? Is no one has
Uh,
anything to add?
I was just gonna say, looking at the, I have the spreads up here because I think I'm gonna fucking hammer. Oh, the Lions are favored in.
No, they are not.
No, they're
They're
not.
underdogs.
And why are they minus 2.5 is -1? Oh wait, no, I see. No, it was fucking me up because the lines are under separate logos, which is fucked up. Okay, so -2.5 Detroit Lions -2.5 to win by a field goal, $15, 21.60. Not locking it in now, but those odds aren't great. But you can. I'm assuming there will be a boost at some point that I can use on any NFL play that I will use there, and that might be the play. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the morning.
You're getting a profit boost on FanDuel for Broncos Jets. And I'm not logged into my account, so I don't know what else they have. Kevin Durant parlay, Lions money line, Steelers money line, Seahawks money line. All right. Do we have anything else?
No.
Okay.
Say fucking tune in and say pay attention to socials and everything. We'll watch that
we
out
might go
tomorrow.
live tomorrow.
Dude, I'm not opposed to it. I think it's a great idea. We'll see what the deal is. We'll see what we're able to do.
Yeah, if I can clear with the wife, I'll try that tomorrow.
All right, let's try it.
Honestly, maybe what I'll do is I'll put my computer out. Maybe I'll just have to take the baby for a little while. Maybe Mackenzie will get some airtime.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Maybe that's what we'll do. All right, boys. Good. And maybe see you all tomorrow. Until then, let's go Lions.
Shut the fuck up.
Peace.
See you in London. God save the Queen.
Jago.